And welcome to my live interview today for the Victorious Souls podcast. Today, my guest is Nicky Billou. He's also known as the Millionaire Maker, but he is a #1 best-selling author. And today he's going to share his story of overcoming his most difficult adversity, which was his divorce and the breakup of his family. So I'm going to bring him out here to meet you. And for those of you who don't know me, I am Danielle Bernack from DanielleBernack.com. Love yourself from Survive to Thrive, that lady on the internet who loves you. Welcome with me today, Nicky Billou. Hopefully, Nicky, your internet is working again. He had a little difficulty with his internet. That happens sometimes, right?
All right. Sorry about that. It was just
that's
technology is being a little funny this morning.
Yeah, sometimes technology does that. But thank you for coming on the show with me today. I was telling them that you're also known as the Millionaire Maker, and you're a best-selling author, and you're going to be sharing your story of overcoming your most difficult adversity. But before we get into the adversity, tell us a little bit about Nicky Billou, a little bit of your history so we get a bigger picture of you.
Sure. I'm actually originally an immigrant from the Middle East. I'm a Christian from Iran. When I was a young boy, about 11 years old, the Islamic Revolution happened in Iran. And my late father, God rest his soul, could see the writing on the wall. This was not going to be a great place for him to raise his Christian family. So what he did is he made a plan. He hustled us out of Iran, and we eventually settled in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Mm-hmm. I thank God every day for my father and his foresight, because he took us out of tyranny and he brought us to freedom. I don't know if you've been following the news about what's going on in Iran these days. There appears to be a second revolution happening. Young woman was killed for going outdoors without wearing a headdress. Think about this. In Iran, the law is you as a woman cannot go outside with your skin or your hair showing. And they beat her to death over this. Wow. And as a result, protests, demonstrations have sparked across the nation. Almost 500 other, mostly young women and teenage girls have been killed. There have been 15,000 people that have been arrested. They've threatened to execute them all. For what? For asking for freedom. And I know there's people here in the West who like to say, oh, America, the West, so oppressive, so racist, so sexist. I want to just slap them across the face and go, are you kidding me? This is the greatest, freest nation on earth. You're either dumb or you're malevolent. If you're dumb, we'll try to smarten you up. If you're malevolent, go to hell. That's the way I see it.
That's a little bit harsh.
It's harsh, but honestly, there's people who are trying to take away our freedoms. We need to stand up for what we believe in. This country is so great. You know, we got to make sure we preserve it. I mean, the history will not look kindly on us. Our grandfather's generation fought in World War II against fascism. We got to make sure we fight it here ourselves and don't allow it to take hold. That's all I'd say. My father felt the same way. He was an entrepreneur. He was an uplifter of people. You know, he felt that if you were a human being in his path, it was obligation to help you. If you were looking for a job, he'd help you find a job. If you were looking to start a business, he'd help you start a business. If you were working for him and you were looking to buy a car, a house, or an apartment, he didn't have enough money, he'd top you up so you could buy that car, that house, or that apartment. Wow. My dad was the greatest man I knew. And you might go, that's crazy. Nobody does that. Well, my dad did that.
Yeah.
Right. And he did it for a number of reasons. Number one is he was a Christian. He believed it was his obligation to uplift others. But secondly, he did it because he could. He was an entrepreneur. He was successful. And I wanted to be just like him. That's what led me into entrepreneurship. That's what led me into want to help people, because what I notice is a lot of people like yourself and myself who get into the serving entrepreneurship side. Mm-hmm. We're good people. We're good technicians, good tradesmen, as it were. But we don't know how to run a business. We're not business people. We don't know about marketing and sales and finance and hiring and firing. And we don't know about how to create structures and systems to run a company. We could create them to deliver the result we deliver to people. And I saw all this and I thought, okay, I want to be in the business of helping these folks. So one of the things that I started to do was go, how can I best help them? And I saw marketing and sales was a big issue for a lot of people. And the biggest issue was, A, they didn't want to come across as pushy or salesy or like they reeked of commission breath. And B, they didn't know how to stand out. You know, when you ask somebody what they did, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, I'm a realtor, I'm whatever. Well, that doesn't make you stand out. So in the first instance, I thought, okay, I don't look at sales as a bad thing. I look at sales as love. I sell to people I love and I care about. So I thought, what if we could reframe selling for people from sales to service? Nobody wants to be sold. You don't want to be sold. I don't want to be sold. But we all want to be served by a caring person. And we love to buy. God, don't we love to buy? We love to buy stuff, right?
Especially now. It's around Christmas time while we're recording this.
Right? It's the time. Look, I got the craziest things. Look at this. This is a pen. Looks like a bullet, but it's a pen. You know, it's just crazy stuff like that. This is the can of water I'm drinking, Liquid Death. I mean, it's like 3 times the price of any other water, but it's got a cool little logo on the side.
Why is it called Liquid Death?
Oh, to stand out. This is what I mean by standing out, right? This is
it sounds
this
awful,
guy built
though.
this into a $700 million company in no time at all, because he decided to associate this with water. All the other names for water are great, but they're boring. Dasani, San Pellegrino, Perrier, Liquid Death. Liquid Death, man. I love it. That makes you jump all over wanting to get it. That stands out in the marketplace. It allows a certain group of people to be interested in what they're doing. And this is what people need to learn, right? A lot of people in our helping professions, they're not good at standing out. They try to, you know, be like everybody else. I had a client came to me many years ago. Great guy, loved what he did. He was a personal fitness trainer. He was really good at it. But he was a terrible businessman, terrible at sales. He had like 7 clients. He made $1,200 a month. And when I met him, I go, okay, what makes you different? And he goes, no, I can do anything for everybody. I go, that doesn't make you different. That makes you like everybody else. What makes you different? He goes, no, I can do it. I can help everybody. I said, everybody with a wallet and a pulse. And he's like, ha, funny, yeah. I'm like, no.
Nobody can help everybody. That's just unrealistic.
Nobody can. So I told him, narrow. He narrowed to doctors because his dad was a doctor. I'm like, that's not a great message. He said, doctors make a lot of money. I go, that's an even worse message. You know what I mean? So this guy's
I'm gonna sell to you because you have a lot of money. That's very self-serving.
Exactly. Didn't work. So then I go, we got to change this. He goes, okay, cardiologists, narrow niche, they make more money than doctors. I'm like, oh my God, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. That didn't work. And then through serendipity, he starts working with a fellow with a missing limb, a Paralympian athlete. And it worked. They had a great relationship. He helped this guy get in shape, go to competition, win some medals. Then he comes to me, goes, oh my God, Nicky, I get it. I've been trying to go after the money. Shouldn't be going after the money. I should be going after the fulfillment. And he said, I love working with this guy. I think I want to help people with missing limbs because I know what to do to help them. I said, that's a great idea.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I'm reading a book right now that really speaks to what you're talking about, the entrepreneurial myth or the E-myth.
The E-myth by Michael Gerber. Yeah, it's a great book.
Yeah, I'm reading that book right now. It's like, it sounds like, you know, your history because of your dad, the entrepreneurial, I can hear and I can feel your passion as you talk about it, which is amazing.
Well, let me finish.
And I want to get into your story though,
man.
too. I don't want to get too much into business.
We'll finish it, but let me finish the story about this young man because it has a really good.
I thought you had. I'm sorry.
Ending. It has a good ending to it.
Awesome.
In 6 weeks, he signs up 400 people.
Oh my goodness, how could he even serve 400 people?
He couldn't one-on-one. He had to rejigger his business. We had to on a dime go from one-on-one coaching to online and other training. He had such a flood of business. He was making $1,200 a month when I met him. He added not 1 0 but 2 zeros to that income, over 100 grand a month. He had a business. He went from a hobby to a business because he came from his heart. My dad used to tell me, business isn't about money, it's about people. Remember, that's someone's mother, that's someone's father, that's someone's brother, that's someone's sister, that's someone's son, that's someone's daughter. Right. They are looking to be helped by a human being who cares. They're not looking to be sold to.
Right.
And that was the important thing. And Danny, when this trainer fellow, Danny was his name, when he got it, his business took off.
Wow. Wow. I love hearing your passion in that. I just really, really love that. And like I said, I'm reading that book and it's the same message. I'm about quarter of the way through, a third of the way through. It's a fantastic
Good.
book.
It is a good book.
So what were you like? Were you all about business? Were you on the right track of business when you got married? I mean, when did you get married? Bring us into the beginning of the story before you made this big pivot in your life.
I was 35 years old when I got married.
Oh, wow.
I
That's how old my dad
I-
was when he got married.
yeah, when I was, I met my then wife in a personal development program, and it was very intense. And we became connected very quickly. We started dating right away. We became a couple right away. We became committed right away. Like within days, I met her. Within a week of meeting her, I started dating her. It was clear that the day that I met her, it was clear, like we talked, we were in a program that was outside of, we were both from Toronto, we were in Philadelphia. We met. It was awesome. She was beautiful. She was passionate, fiery, all those wonderful things. We came back home, we took long walks together in the forest. We came back home, we started dating, we became intimate right away. We became a couple right away. Within 5 months, we were married. I mean, that was how boom, 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 boom. The program was intense, and it really let you see possibility. So, and we had a lot that went well. We got into business together. That went really well. We were a good couple, like as a married couple going out facing the world. We had two beautiful sons together. But then one of our sons got ill. He was born with something called subglottic tracheal stenosis. His windpipe was too narrow. My ex had him when she was 40, and there's complications of having children. Women are biologically meant to have children from about the age of 15 to 32, 33. Beyond that, it gets harder and harder, and there's issues that come up. And that's what happened to our son. And he went to the hospital once. He almost died. He went to the hospital a second time, almost died again. And during that second time, there were people chirping in our ear. And I was not well trained as a man on how to be a good husband in these types of situations. I just thought I should be strong, and that was the wrong thing, to be strong and tough. We argued about what needed to happen. Instead of what I should have done was just put my arm around her and comforted her. She was a mother freaking out about her son's life. I was freaking out too, but I did not understand, how much more freaked out she was than I was, and how much more intense the bond was. He'd just been born like a year and a half ago, and I didn't get it. That's the bottom line. And there were people around her who were jealous of us. One of the things that happens in the modern era, unfortunately, is when things are going badly, and men need to understand this, the people that are chirping in your wife's ear, if they're people who are not pro your family, they'll destroy it. That's what happened. There was a woman who was a friend of hers who I thought was a decent human being, but honestly, she wasn't. And she took joy in seeing our marriage get wrecked, because she had wrecked a couple of her marriages. There's people like this. There's miserable people that come around you. And there was a fellow who was around her who found her pretty and wanted to sleep with her. And he was a slime ball. So he would chirp in her ear and say stuff. And obviously, if I was in a different place, none of this would have happened, and none of this would have affected her. But because she was feeling unsure about what was going on with our kid, and the way I was showing up just made it happen. So she left. We split up. It was unexpected. I didn't know that was on the horizon, but it was in her mind. And I went into a tailspin for years. My business crashed. I was a fitness coach myself at the time. I couldn't see my kids for a while, and then it was like back and forth. It was months before I could see them at all, and it was back and forth between our houses.
How painful.
Horrible. Probably in the long run cost us $3 million in money and lost income. And my kids don't live in the same house. They got to shuttle back and forth between homes. Now, I then joined a men's group, kind of a few months into it, and it took me months and even years of being in the men's group before I could really take responsibility for what happened. And when I took responsibility, then I started to turn it around. And I went from having horrible existence to having a decent existence, and now having a wonderful existence. And that was what that's Nicky Billou's story of my marriage and the adversity that I faced.
Well, what exactly did you take ownership of to turn it around? You said you took responsibility.
I stopped blaming her. I stopped blaming her for the marriage. As I said, it's her fault. She made the decision, and yeah, she did make the decision, but I stopped blaming her for it.
Yeah, because it takes two. Wow, taking ownership for your side of the story, right?
Yeah. The moment I took ownership, and I felt it energetically in my body, I was in a course, and there was a man there who I didn't like. He's still an asshole. He's an asshole, but he did me a big service that day. He was just getting on my nerves. He got on my nerves one time too many. I just had it. I jumped out of my chair. I was ready to swing at him, and 5 of the men grabbed me and stopped me. And then, but he kept talking. He said, "When are you going to stop blaming your ex-wife? When are you going to stop blaming yourself and take real responsibility for this and turn it around?" And then I started to, I stopped wanting to hit him, and I just broke down and cried. And the men let me sag down, and I just said, "Right now," and I felt it. That decision got made that instant. All the negativity left. Our phones were put aside and shut off. That was the agreement. And then at the break, I picked up my phone. I turned it on. Instantly, she called me. Instantly. And she cried and said, "I'm sorry. I've been trying to hurt you and make you suffer, and I'm done with that. Let's finish our divorce," which, at the time I was trying to complete. And so we completed it. It had been dragging on for 6 years, and then it was done. It was done.
Wow. So how is your relationship now? Do you have
honestly, she's the easiest person in my life to deal with, easier than my current lady. We've gone on vacation together twice with the kids, once with my current lady. So it's good. It's good. We got the best ex-wife and ex-husband situation that I'm aware of on the planet. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So what are you doing now? You're reaching out and helping other men take ownership in their lives, aren't they?
Yeah, I've got an organization called Sovereign Man, the website sovereignman.ca. We do a podcast every week as well. And we're all about helping men, be better, be stronger, sharpen up. Like we say, we're living in a time that's hostile to manhood and masculinity. But so what? That doesn't matter. You're still a man, and all you need is a bunch of other men around you to show you what you're capable of. And as a man, you're capable of a hell of a lot. If you let yourself be, because a lot of men they're lost. They don't know how to live life as the best version of themselves. So yeah, there it is.
And you have books too, don't you?
Yeah. So these are a bunch of the books I've written. So this is my most famous book. It's called Finish Line Thinking: How to Think and Win Like a Champion. And there are 13 principles here of how champion athletes think and win. I've was business partners with 2 Olympic gold medalists, and my current lady is a 3-time Guinness World Record for running 12 hours on a treadmill. This is about how to apply those principles to winning in life and business. This is the Thought Leader's Journey. This is a book that's for anybody who has a dream to go start their own business and become some sort of coach, consultant, service-based entrepreneur. It's told in the form of a fable, but it's a step-by-step guide on what you got to do to build that business to $500,000 to $1 million a year. This book's called The Power of Connecting: How to Activate Profitable Relationships by Serving Your Network. I believe very strongly relationships are everything. This is the relationship book that'll show you how to go into your relationship networks and turn it into business, because most people are leaving anywhere between $250,000 and $20 million in business on the table by not properly going inside their network and really servicing it and finding out who are the folks that you could be doing business with, but you aren't. And this book is How to Create $1 Million a Year Income: The Priceless Guide for Life Insurance Agents, Sales Professionals, Anyone with a Big Dream. I co-wrote it with one of my clients who makes $1 million a year, and it's really about what it takes to create that level of income as a service-based entrepreneur. This is a political book I wrote with Wayne Allen Root, the former candidate for vice president on the Libertarian ticket. And I got a bunch of other ones that I've written as well, but these are the ones that were handy.
All righty. Wow. Well, you have accomplished quite a bit. And what is something you want to share with our audience before we tie this up? Anything else?
Look, I know this is a tough time. The last almost 3 years have been hard with lockdowns, with inflation, with uncertainty, with war in Europe. And you might be thinking, I just want to get through this. I just want to survive. I'm not looking at, winning per se. And I want to tell you, balderdash, you can win. You deserve to win. You should win. You need to believe that you can win. Belief is what's going to get you to where you want to go. Nothing else will. And you gotta believe. You gotta believe. And if you don't have enough belief right now, borrow some of mine, because I got plenty for all of us.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you have your one website. What are your other websites? How can people connect with you? The sovereignman.ca.
Yeah, that's the men's website. My business website, ecircleacademy.com. Lots of free resources there. And if you're a business owner and you're looking to plan next year and get your business to the next level, I offer something called a free success call. It's a 45-minute coaching call. Take a look at why your business is where it's at, where you want it to get to, and what it's going to take to get it elsewhere. Take me up on it. Love to have you do that. That's at ecircleacademy.com/appointment.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, Danielle.
Oh, this is wonderful. And thank you, audience, for listening to us today. Until next time, I love you.